What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. I'm very sorry for the tone in advance of this video. I have had enough. I've had enough of our federal government. I've had enough of Canada. I have just hit my limit. I don't know any other way to put this video forward other than to share my complete outrage and disgust to say that we are truly in an alternate reality or some kind of bizarre setting that would allow this to happen. Our Canadian government has sold out Canada for some reason to be invaded and overtaken by those who wish to destroy us, those who wish to not only rip up our culture and chew it up and spit it out, but those who want to come and poop on our beaches, who want to steal our jobs, who want to get rid of all Canadians to turn our country into the shithole that they came from. What am I talking about? Well, let's start with the Toronto International Film Festival, or TIFF as it's called. If you've been under a rock or if you haven't seen on social media, this is going all over the place. The Toronto International Film Festival outrageously cuts an October 7th documentary because Hamas didn't give footage permission. This is making international headlines. This is on the New York Post, by the way. What are we talking about? Well, let's get into the information because this just shows, and this isn't the only thing we're talking about here. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Stay with me for this video. Because if this video doesn't make you angry, if it doesn't make you get to a point where you start saying, where the hell am I living? I don't know what will. A new documentary about the October 7th, 2023 attack on Israel by Hamas has been booted from the Toronto International Film Festival. Keep in mind, international is the big word here, because organizers insist the filmmakers need the rights from the terrorist group Hamas in order to use their horrific footage of said massacre. The festival claims the movie called The Road Between Us, The Ultimate Rescue did not meet certain requirements on screen at the prestigious September event, widely attended by Hollywood stars and bigwigs, including not securing so-called legal clearance to use Hamas live stream video footage of SA, unalivings, and kidnapping of people of Jewish faith. So they don't want to show you the truth. They don't want to show you what's really happening over there, while people say, well, what about the genocide? What about... I don't care. You've got actual video footage in an international film festival, in a documentary being silenced. Who funds the Toronto International Film Festival? Well, Mark Carney and the Liberals. Keep in mind, Mark Carney is recognizing Palestine as its own state when we return to the House of Commons in the fall. TIFF to launch official content market alongside festival for September of 2026, supported by the Canadian federal government with a landmark $23 million investment. This is no different than our Canada-funded propaganda arm of the government with the news that now we're going to fund the film festivals. Now we're going to say what you can and can't see. Not only can we tell you where you can go, what you can put in your body, who you can talk to, where you can travel, you can't go in the woods, you can't talk to people. Oh, and you can't watch certain information we don't want you to see. Which, by the way, if you're enjoying this content, please, for the love of God, hit the thumbs up and put a comment down below, because this video is going to get censored to hell. The Canadian government has told organizations like YouTube and Google, don't let anybody talk nasty about the government. If they do, suppress the video. Please share it out on social media. Whatever you can do is greatly appreciated. So the Canadian government's going to invest $23 million so that we can become a joke on the international stage. Alongside all of that, alongside of censoring out what you can and can't see, Canada has also, by the way, lost the ability to find 599 foreign criminals that are facing deportation in our country. CBSA has said, we don't know where these folks are. While Mark Carney's going to recognize countries like Palestine as an independent state. Now, we just let these people in. We just let them flock to our country. We let them run crime in our streets that people like Pierre Poilievre are talking about. Hey, jail, not bail. Deport them. Get them out of here. Well, now we don't even track them. They're just allowed to run rampant. Put on top of all of that, a former liberal minister, Mariam Monsef, called the Taliban brothers. This is where we are in our country. This is the representation we're getting in our country. This is why provinces like Alberta and Saskatchewan want to get the hell out of here. We've had enough. The Taliban are brothers. Didn't they fly 2 airplanes into the Twin Towers? Didn't they massacre thousands of Americans? And this is how we show our respect to our brothers and sisters of the South. We call them brothers. The virtue signaling has to stop. Thank God this minister is no longer with the Liberals. It says if you have social media, keep in mind this article came out in 2021. But if you have social media, you've probably seen the clip. Gender equality minister Miriam Monsef calling the Taliban, quote, our brothers during a press conference on Canadian evacuation efforts in Afghanistan. Well, it'd be terrible if we went after the Taliban, wouldn't it? Monsef is running to be re-elected as a Liberal MP for Peterborough, Kawartha, but spoke with journalists Wednesday in her role as gender equality minister. What part of the Taliban recognizes gender equality? Thank Christ she was not re-elected. All of this is pertaining into what we have to deal with today. That while Mark Carney is going to recognize Palestine as its own state, while they're censoring what the Toronto International Film Festival can show, because, God forbid, it goes against their narrative to say how great people from Palestine are, how great Hamas is. Do you guys remember this video we showed? An assault that happened in Montreal of a Jewish man being beat in front of his child, causing trauma to his kids, and throwing the man's kippah on the ground. This was a hate crime. This was a deliberate hate crime. Look at the insanity that went here. Now, I mentioned the first time we showed this video, I guarantee you this man is not from Canada. The guy assaulting this person. He picks up this bag, which I'm willing to bet is not his stuff, by the way. And he throws the man's kippah on the ground, making this an official hate crime. There it is. Throws it in a fountain, says, to hell with you. Like, this is the insanity going on in our country. Now, they did catch the man, who also, again, is not from Canada. He's Hamas. Well, the judge, who is now looking over this incident, get ready for this. This is where this literally brought my piss to a boil. The Montreal police and judges are now claiming that the hot weather was the reason the Hamas supporter assaulted an Orthodox Jewish man in front of his children in a Montreal park last week. So climate, ladies and gentlemen, actually causes violence. It's not just destroying our country. It's not just ruining the environment. Forget about going walking in the woods. The heat is now causing people to turn on others that they disagree with for religious faith. It says up here, and let's go through for context. The person who assaulted the man worked at a cinema until Easter. There was difficult moments for him. Heaven forbid. Oh, poor guy. There was a question of consuming illegal substances. He seemed to have delirious ideas linked to his actions, the judge said, while summarizing the report, adding that some of the details concerning his mental health were corroborated by the man's mother. The consumption of illegal substances does not seem to be connected with his mental health, but the criminologist concludes that an evaluation of his responsibility indicates he should have been evaluated further. The judge also said the criminologist wrote that the hot weather experienced in Montreal on the day in question may have played a role in what happened. Is this really where we are? Do they really expect that people are this stupid that this is what they're going to eat up? I can't believe this is where our goddamn country is. Pardon the blasphemy. I'm just so sick and tired of this. This guy goes walking in the woods. White guy goes walking in the woods, gets a $28,000 fine because it's too hot outside. You can't go walking in the woods. This guy beats the hell out of somebody in public and is told, hey, don't send him to jail, don't prosecute him, leave him alone, bail not jail, because, oh, the heat was there. It was too hot outside. Let the guy assault people in our streets and denounce his religion. the victim's religion in the streets. This guy gets a $28,000 fine for taking 13 steps into the brush. This guy gets preferential treatment. These Canadian heroes, let's get them on screen. These Canadian heroes are facing 7 to 8 years in jail for parking their vehicles in front of the government's front lawn in a peaceful protest. While the other guy is told the weather made him assault somebody. Keep in mind that while our Canadian veterans, by the way, are getting $28,000 tickets for going into the woods, well, there's also, if you're not white, you're allowed to go in. As we've shown on other videos, the province permits performances of an Indigenous take on Shakespeare in the woods. You're allowed into the woods if you're Indigenous, but you can't go in there if you're white. You get a $28,000 fine. They're basically erasing Canada's identity. They've erased our culture. They've erased everything there is about Canada. If people think that voting to separate, if people think that voting for independence is spitting on the Canadian flag, I got news for you, Canada. Your government took a crap and wiped their ass with your flag a long time ago. Look at the rules for this play. Oh, the forest could burn at any time, folks, but attendees must stay on the main path to and from the performance sites, guided by theater staff. They must remain at those sites during the performance, and there can be no smoking or vaping in the park. How well do you think that's going to be upheld? Absolutely ridiculous. This is bullshit at its finest. This is our Canadian government shitting on the ground and expecting you to lick it up. Where do we reach a line? When do we hit a point in time where we say enough is enough? We're not doing this anymore. When are we going to start telling the Canadian government that Hamas holes have no place in Canada, that none of this has any place in Canada? We are a peace and loving country. We're mostly a peaceful people. Our identity has been erased over the last 10 years by virtue signaling fart huffers that want to come in here and allow for Terrys, for freaks, for all these people to just crap all over our values, our way of life, our society, tell us that we're racist, that we're deplorable, we're an unacceptable fringe minority with unacceptable views. Obey or be labeled forever. This is the twilight zone that we have entered with our government. Enough is enough. I'm done. I don't know if you're done. Let me know in the comments below. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you on the next one.